1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, everyone, let's have a look at Danny Boy. Now, Danny Boy is a very beautiful Irish melody, which I hope that you will enjoy playing and learning. Now, Danny Boy explores the concept of the fourth a little bit further. As we saw, this is the same thing that we saw in the last piece of the book, which was Promenade. Now, let's find our opening positions here. So it's left finger, second finger, left hand, second finger on B, right hand, first finger on D. So your thumbs should be adjacent to each other, left hand C, right hand on D. So you're playing in this position here. Okay? Now, just having a look at the left hand, let's look at the different intervals and chords that we see here. Okay? So the first chord we come along to is in the second measure. Now, this is a fourth. As you can see, the bottom note's on a space and the upper note is on a line, which is middle C. So when you know it's a fourth, it's really easy to read. So we're going to play 1 and 4. And notice that this chord is tied to the next measure. All right, those are not slurs, so please don't play it twice. Just play it once and hold it down while you're playing the melody. Okay, and at the end of the line, we see another chord. All right, it starts with the C and ends with F, A, which is a third. That's not a fourth, right? You can tell the thirds because they're on adjacent line and line. The two notes are lying on lines, adjacent lines, okay? They're both on lines, which means they are separated a third apart, all right? The same is true if they are both on spaces, adjacent spaces. That would also be a third, okay? Now, quickly looking through the piece again, in measure 9, we see our fourth again, which is tied over to measure 10, okay? And in measure 11, our third again, okay? And in measure 13, another fourth, all right? And the rest of this piece is quite self-explanatory, all right? At least in the left-hand sense, all right? On the right hand, all right, the very first thing we come to is in measure 2, a dotted half note. So make sure you count to 3 there. All right, and then here we have a fourth from the E to the A. So line to a space. Right? Now notice in the line down in measure 5, we have another dotted half note. Okay, so count to 3 every time you see that dotted half note. All right. The last thing to really mention, because the third line is essentially very similar to the first line, is we'll talk about now the very last two notes, the last two measures. Okay, so in the last two measures, I'll play from 3 measures in. Okay, that's the C the last note on the left hand, and then we'll join in after 2 beats with a fourth on the right hand, D, G. Notice I'm playing 1 and 4, okay? Now the G is tied over, so you just have to play 1 note. Okay, so don't play that G twice, just play first finger, second finger, D to E to finish the piece. And we'll hold the fermata, and then you can release together, okay? Now one little funny thing about this piece before we break up is the very first measure of the piece. You notice that It's not a complete measure. There's only 3 quarter notes in that measure. And that's because those 3 quarter notes are actually pickups to the melody that we are playing. All right, so that's not actually a full measure. And you don't have to have a full measure at the very beginning of a piece. Sometimes you'll have only one beat and then the measure line, because that beat would normally be a pickup note to the beginning of the piece. So in this case, we have a 3 note quarter note pickup to the melody of Danny Boy. So they decided not to put an entire measure in there, even though it says 4/4 time and there's only 3 beats in that bar. Okay, that's it for now. Good luck and have fun learning this piece, and we'll see you in the next video. That's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking on that like button and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching!